So we're here on another Wednesday, and this week we're talking about reviving resolutions. There are 5 books that we have. 4 of the books are nonfiction, and the 5th one is fiction, and it comes from a series of books. So today we're picking up with the 3rd book. We're on schedule, and we're going to go ahead and figure out what just the normal travel study right will be. So the first 2 focus on local options, and the first one takes us to the mall. No, the first one takes us to an arcade, and then the second one takes us to the mall. So the first one is going to the arcade, reading your preferred chapter for the book, and then practicing principles from the book while playing arcade games. So if you set a goal for an arcade game, or even, at some arcades, you can see how many points you get on the card and just things like that. And it could be done multiple times. You could go and try to set a goal for 30 minutes or an hour. And you could also kind of set up your whole day like, I don't know, like a mini life. I don't know. Yeah. And figure out how you spend your points and things. The second one takes you to the mall, and you just observe and choose some preferences, right? As in going to different stores, because this book is all about career goals. And then you just leave a thank you note. Yeah. So the first one that I described would ideally work in the reading study room, and then the second one would ideally work in the writing study room. So the book for today, and these are going by pretty quickly, by the way, so I might even finish up this live with continuing the trafficking itineraries, because those have been a bit more challenging and they're much more sensitive. So some major pieces have been decided, but the research is taking a little while longer to make sure everything kind of fits together as a series. So let's go ahead and open up the book, and I'll share the screen here. And I think the one for today is the Goals and Goals Setting by Larry A. Weird. So here's the book. It was published in 1993, and I'll just go over the contents really quickly. Let's read about the author along the way. Larry is a business consultant for Safeway, a Fortune 500 regional retail organization. His specialties include computer systems and regional design, training for retail buying, and merchandising and inventory control applications. He has over 20 years of practical experience in daily business user activities and has earned 2 Exceptional Achievement Awards for his goal-achieving programs. He's currently assigned as a consultant in Northwestern Mexico. He can be contacted through the publisher for comments and questions. All right, so again, this was published in 1993. Let's see if we can get an update on where he is now. Larry Lloyd. We don't have the best news here. I'm going to read it. And I'm wondering if I should even replace this book with another one. Okay, so this is old. I'm going to see if I can find something more recent. Again, you can come to the recording of my screen here. I'm not going to share that. Essentially, he was found guilty of a crime and put in jail for that crime. And that is all I can find right now. Could be a different guy. But don't. I'm going to see if I can find anything post 2011. When was this published? I spelled the name wrong. Did I spell the name wrong? I did. Yeah, I'm not really finding anything on Larry with this one. Seems like it's a different person from what I found earlier, but I'm not finding anything about the author. Anyway, all right, let's keep going. So, information is coming from someone who has helped a lot of people to achieve their goals. So for the contents, we have an introduction, we have purpose of goal setting, why set goals, part 1, what is a goal, definition of a goal, goals must be written, missions, objectives, goals and objectives pyramids, who sets goals and how do they agree, the process of analysis, the 3-step process, communication, top-down goal setting, bottom-up goal setting, how are goals set, a 4-task process, identify opportunities for goals, writing goal statements, develop goals, formulate action plans, goal achievement, the foundation and support for goal achievement, implement the plan, monitor progress, revise objectives, summary answers to exercises. I think I need to try to clarify this. So let's see if we can find something that's a little different from the others. I think we're fine. I typed in the name incorrectly initially. Definition of a goal. Goals must be written. Missions, objectives, goals, and objectives pyramids. So writing goals, writing is a big emphasis on writing here, right? We already have a writing focused itinerary from yesterday. We could change the one from yesterday to listening from writing. Or just have two writing ones. Goals must be written. So we have, yeah, let's go to page 9 and figure out what his definition of a goal is. Definition of a goal. Goal, a simple definition. A goal is an end toward which you direct some specific effort. In this context, the end is an exact and tangible result you want and are willing to expend effort to achieve. That's one thing I didn't really talk about earlier, is that apparently the second Friday in January is official Quitters Day, where people quit their New Year's resolution, which is why this is called reviving resolutions, because they say most people have lost track with that goal by this time in January. So, what kind of and how much effort is always related to the goal itself? That is, you must be able to identify the cost and benefit relationship. The way you decide if the goal is worth achieving is through planning and analysis of the elements of the goal. Learning how to examine these elements helps you to calculate the cost and benefit relationship. Elements of a goal. An accomplishment to be achieved. What do I expect the outcome of our actions to be? In most cases, you will want to express this accomplishment with an action word, a verb. The outcome, accomplishment is measurable. How will I know when I have reached the outcome? What are the signs I need to see so I know I have reached the goal? The situation surrounding the accomplishment has to include things you can use to determine you have reached the goal, simple, identifiable signs of success. So these are the two first parts of the SMART goal. But it's kind of out of order. Achievable, measurable. And then time factors, right? Timely, the T. When precisely do I want to have the goal completed? Just as important as the other elements are a specific date and time by which you will want to be able to say you have accomplished your goal. Then the cost consideration. That doesn't go in SMART, does it? What is the maximum cost? Money. Resources. I will allow myself to achieve this goal. How much will my efforts have cost me when I say I've done it? The cost and resource constraint forces you to place a financial value on the outcome. That's interesting. Where's the SMART piece? SMART is on the cover here. Usually a SMART goal is specific, measurable, achievable, reasonable, and timely. The whole SMART thing is here on the front. Hold on. I'm typing in the SMART. I'm not getting the acronym here at all. Am I going to flip through the whole book in search of it? There we go. Yep, found it. Writing goal statements. A well-defined goal statement is the foundation for goal achievement. The goal is only as good as its statement of desire and intent to fulfill one's responsibilities, solve a problem, be creative and innovative, have a better business or personal life. A goal statement formalizes what is to be accomplished, who will be involved, when the activity will be completed, how much cost and resources will be used. The smart way to ensure all these elements of a well-defined goal are included in each goal statement. The SMART goal statement is specific, measurable, action-oriented, okay, I said achievable, realistic, time and resource constrained. Okay. All right, just want to make sure that was in there somewhere. All right. So let's get this one completed so that we can finish up with trafficking another one of those. So just considering the cover, we could say go to a local a local a local class or demonstration or something like that. Is that the study or the travel? Um, let's say go to a local university. A local university. Visit a local university. Visit visit um, visit a beautiful campus. How about that? Visit a nice campus. Visit a nice campus. We'll swap these. Visit a lovely campus. Can be local, far, anyway. International varies. And then for the right, um, set a learning goal. I don't know. Set a learning goal. Set a learning goal for attending a local classroom demonstration. And then the right would be speaking, right? Verbally share what you learned with family, friend, or colleague. Colleague. All right, so this is done. This is done. This is done. This is done. It has nothing to do with reading the book. Um, not because of a little confusion at the beginning, but it just doesn't. You don't have to read the book, but you can. It's there for you. Um, it happens quite a bit with the itineraries. I like that. It could be a free seminar. It could be something that you pay for. It reminds me, I went to go see like one of the coolest speeches ever, right? This was after I graduated from college, but I was working on the campus like years later. And the author of a collection of short stories, I think it was called Paper Menagerie. Yeah, Pin Liu. I went to his speech. He's a writer, but he's also a translator. and he translates specifically sci-fi books, between Chinese and English. And he was talking about how he really does co-author as an interpreter, as a translator, and how at one point or at multiple points he would say, "Hey, by the way, there's a little bit of a conflict here." You know, um, in order for him to maintain things like not just like syntactical meaning, like what does this sentence mean, but big themes, and then to decide, okay, well, does this particular theme have the same cultural impact for, the Chinese speaking community as the English speaking community, right? So there, and even just things like metaphors and stuff like that. And he would try to get clarification. And every now and then he said that this particular author that he worked with would say, "Oh, I hadn't really thought about it." When he was writing, I'm sure there's some aspects that you don't think about as much as others. And so the translator would be like, "Hey, do you mean it like this or like that?" And he'd be like, "Hey, actually, I think that way would be better." And so in trying to improve the translation, the original book would be altered a little bit to allow for better translation, but even also to allow for better storytelling in the eyes of the original author. And when he was explaining that, I thought, man, that makes so much sense. But also, I think that's incredibly underappreciated. And that's another thing with pagesdale. Originally, when I started the business, I was going back and looking at some of the documents that I had, and I wanted to do training materials that could be well understood by native English speakers and those who speak English as a second language, and then also prepare those documents for translation, right? And I think all of those things should be considered with any type of instructional design as well. If you're designing something that's supposed to be applied to those who have different proficiency levels, but then even also for translation into other languages to be used for a similar purpose, right? And there's a lot to think about when putting lessons together. An original master lesson, that can then serve the same purpose culturally and linguistically for different groups. And I think that is another thing that just doing these travel itineraries helps me prepare myself to manage better, right? So I know this thing is kind of like a whimsical sort of a deal, but like I mentioned maybe a couple months back, it's really me sharing my learning journey and trying to prepare myself to do the types of things that I originally set out to do, right? Um, but yeah, so I say that because of going to seminars at universities, right, that aren't part of a course. I think I had to pay, and I know I had to pay to get in. I think it was $20. And then I also paid for the book itself. And it was great. It was amazing. It was very, very fun. So going to those, highly recommended. I don't think I'd ever really heard anyone talk about them outside of being in school and being like, oh, like so and so is coming to school to speak, and then the students go. But it's a lot of times they're open to the general public. These speeches and seminars and things like that that happen in the evening, or sometimes during the day. You know. So going to one of those and then having a goal, right? So if I had gone and I had thought, man, I'm going to go in with a goal to speak with Ken, right? I might have ended up getting more out of that seminar if I actually went in with a goal. Or if I went in trying to, learn, two specific focus areas for, you know, the work that I do day to day. I don't know. Either way, I think this is a really, really good itinerary, essentially, that I think anyone can do. And then picking out a campus is really beautiful. Man, I was just thinking the other day, I only applied to 2 schools. And I think that's part of the reason why I got into the schools that I got into. I mean, I had good grades and I was relatively involved. I did a lot of things actually. But I think the fact that I only applied to 2 schools really helped me to get accepted to, especially the University of Virginia. And then I also applied to Christopher Newport. And Christopher Newport was a really super new school at the time. Of course, it's still very new. But I think Christopher Newport is growing quite a bit. Let's check out Christopher Newport. What's going on with Christopher Newport? I remember looking up Christopher Newport and I thought he was a relatively cool guy, considering the time he was on. I mean, just saying that a lot of people during that time period get a lot of flack, which I'm not saying they shouldn't, but he kind of seemed to stand out as being his own person. Christopher Newport. And I liked it because it was by the beach. It was a small school. Yeah. I mean, I really like UVA's philosophies, especially, first year, second year, third year, and then you continue learning forever. So it's not like you graduate as a senior, you're still learning and other things. But I just really liked how Christopher Newport described themselves, and I still do. We don't teach you to do something, we prepare you to do anything. Stanford. Yeah, Stanford is actually going to be taking on a lot of the California Historical Society's materials. I just read about that earlier for the news haiku. But here's another article about Stanford. Stanford University study looks at the impact of scientists worldwide. This is just on the Christopher Newport website. 3 Christopher Newport University researchers have been identified as among the world's most influential scholars and scientists in a new edition of an annual ranking compiled by Stanford University and the analytics firm Elsevier. Psychology professors Dr. Sherman Lee and Dr. Timothy Presley are new to the list. Chemistry professor Dr. Tariq Abdel Fattah has previously been recognized. All 3 were ranked by Stanford among the top 2% of researchers globally based on their academic publications and citation metrics. The authors of the annual study analyzed a community of more than 6 million scientists worldwide. This is a prestigious honor for Dr. Abdel Fattah, Dr. Lee, and Dr. Presley, and for Christopher Newport University, said Provost Dr. Quentin Kitt. Our students had the unique opportunity to conduct research side by side with prominent scientists including 3 of the most influential in the world. Abdel Fattah is the Lawrence J. Sachs Endowed Professor of Chemistry and the Senior Director of the Applied Research Center at Thomas Jefferson National Accelerator Facility in Newport News. Oh, Thomas Jefferson, still hanging out? All right. No. University of Virginia was founded by Thomas Jefferson. His focus in chemistry is on nanotechnology and its uses in the realms of sustainable materials and nanoscale for environmental remediation and energy. Nanotechnology is the manipulation of matter on a near atomic scale to produce new structures, materials, and devices. Abdel Fattah has been included in the ranking every year since 2020 and was also the recipient of the 2024 Outstanding Faculty Awards in Virginia, awarded by the State Council of Higher Education for Virginia. Lee teaches courses in the psychology of personality and the psychology of death, dying, and bereavement. He often co-authors articles with his students who play an active role in his research lab. With more than 100 publications, Lee is on the American Psychological Association's expert advisory list for the subject of grief and sits on the editorial boards of, or for, the Journal of Clinical and Basic Psychosomatics and Death Studies. Lee's research in the early days of COVID-19 pandemic received widespread attention and had a significant impact among mental health professionals. He developed a number of influential mental health screeners to identify those suffering from the psychological effects of living through a pandemic. Presley leads courses in research methods, educational psychology, and classroom assessment for the psychology department and the Master of Arts in Teaching program. A former elementary school teacher, his research focuses on the lives of teachers and supporting their well-being. Recently, Presley has published 2 books with Guilford Publishing, has published in leading educational journals, such as Educational Researcher, and is currently working with local public school divisions to support teacher well-being. At the height of the pandemic, Presley used Lee's mental health screener to measure the stress and anxiety levels experienced by teachers. More recently, with the help of students, he launched a research project to gauge teachers' thoughts and well-being, both during COVID-19 and in its aftermath. Beyond their individual success, Lee and Presley support each other's research endeavors, enriching their individual projects through shared insights and joint efforts to improve mental health outcomes and educational environments. Very, very cool. Yeah, so imagine you could head on over to Christopher Newport. Maybe they have a seminar in the evening, and you'd be sharing the air with some of the top 2%. All right, but anyway, or even I'm sure you could find some of the best as well at the University of Virginia. Okay, but I was just trying to check up on Christopher Newport and hear really good things. Also, though, hearing very good things about VSU, Virginia State University. And I grew up really close to Virginia State University. I heard they had this special program going. And let's check out VSU as well. What's going on with VSU? VSU is a HBCU. It's a historically Black college and or university. But I think it has doesn't look like that right now, but I think their enrollment of non-Black students is actually relatively high for an HBCU. News and events, live events. And is the campus lovely? It most certainly is. There's actually a lot to do in Petersburg. I mean, Petersburg, well, I'm from around Petersburg. Petersburg has a rustic historical feel. live events? Are these live events or are these online events? Oh, the recordings. Go to visitors meetings. This is probably where I should go. Latest events. Anyway, I think probably following them on social media might be the best way to get this. Office-sponsored research and programs, research development, seminars and conferences. Yay. VCU Undergraduate Research Conference, VSU STEAM H. Science, Technology, Agriculture, Engineering, Math, and Health. That's the first time I've heard STEAM H. Cool. So we have about 10 minutes left to go back to hopefully finishing up one of the trafficking ones. And being that we're talking about goal setting, and I thought I might end up posting these around the same time, I did want to do one that kind of focused on a goal for trying to combat trafficking. What would that look like? So I talked about this last week, but essentially each one is located in a country that has one of the lowest rates of trafficking in the world, right? Then, with that, I've paired it up, or I am pairing it up with some type of online training, free and accessible training. And for the right, I'm having a really hard time with these. I mean, if I do this, then I could probably just do, set a personal goal for how you can combat trafficking. Set a personal goal. Set a personal goal for how you can participate in decreasing the prevalence of human trafficking. I think that's good. And that could be the same for all of them. So this might be the first time that I do the same thing more or less for all of them. Set the goal. But it works because we're going into goal setting. Cool. Set a personal goal. Maybe for one, I say set a personal goal. Maybe for another one, I say set a family goal for protecting yourself from trafficking. Yeah. So we could do one could be a personal goal. I'm really glad that didn't fall over. One could be a personal goal. A personal goal. There could be to protect self. There could be a family goal, right? To protect self. A personal goal to support others. A family goal to support others. And then the last one, because I was talking about the collective, I know. And it seems, I know it seems really annoying that everything I do is just like loop de loop, but it helps. It helps to make decisions. I was just talking about collective. So a collective goal to support all. And yeah, you won't be able to necessarily share the goal with everyone everywhere, but it's still an exercise. And you can even maybe, do your own little PSA, which has always, I won't say always because I don't know, but as long as I've been teaching, PSAs, like having students do their own PSA, is a really good thing to do. It's a good exercise for them. Finding a way that they're interested in doing it is something else. But I think there are a lot of angles to come at developing a collective goal to support the decrease in trafficking. All right, cool. So that's the solution for that. For the writing, for the R, for everything. Yeah, I just thought about something I'll write down for later. I might be able to finish these in the next 5 minutes. All I have to do is pick out one of these courses. Now, I'm picking out the courses from two main sites. There's IJM, which is the International Justice Mission. And then there's also the Organized Crime Index. Oh, there's another one, ourrescue.org. There are 3. I don't think Our Rescue has courses, though. I like this. I feel like I need to watch this myself. Start Talking Online Safety Training. Protect the children and teens in your life with our quick and effective online safety training. Start Talking, a training to keeping children safe online. Yeah. The typos are not the best to look. But I love this course. I would like to take it myself. So to access the online training, you must first sign up on our platform. Cool, it seems like it's free. Super easy to access. 11 ways to join the fight. All right, here's an article. It's a CEO perspective. 11 ways to join the fight in January. January 11th is a call to action. Join our fight to eradicate sex trafficking and child exploitation here and everywhere. To mark National Human Trafficking Awareness Day in the United States, we are shining a light on the global disgrace of human trafficking and inviting you to join as a beacon of hope. Watch this. Take this. Wear this. Share this. Know this. Review this. Read this. See this. Add this. Learn this. Do this. I love that. Just a bunch of call to actions. That's beautiful. All right. So we're going to put this with I think this is the best one is here. 11 ways to join the fight. So that was an article course or a little training on mine safety specifically. Online, okay, different countries. Rock formations. It's nothing to do with rock formations, so. I might have to shuffle them around a little bit. The locations might have to be mixed around. An opera, caves. Yeah, something's not matching up with these. I'll figure it out though. There's one more course, one more training or something that I need. All right, sextortion. Oof. Yeah, let's get the guide against sextortion. Oh, man. All right, so, okay. I mean, sextortion, I mean, is it really trafficking? Is sextortion an example of trafficking? Sextortion is a form of exploitation because it is a forced exchange of sexual material between two parties. The internet having revolutionized the way traffickers recruit victims, sextortion situations can be a gateway to trafficking. Criminals can potentially use sextortion as a recruitment strategy for human trafficking. However, sextortion itself does not constitute human trafficking because there's no involvement of a third party that would profit from the sexual material produced in the form of money, drugs, or something else of value. Okay. Yeah. So that's going on. I'll have to get really creative with the goal setting, I think, to. That's what I'll do. It'll be like a mnemonic device or something like that. So okay. So rock formations. Okay. Set a goal for how you can keep firm boundaries while you're surfing the web. Set personal goal for how to set firm boundaries that will help you protect yourself online. Snorkeling, surfing away. All right, set personal goal for how to avoid dangers while surfing the web. Okay, now measuring peaks. Let's see. If you're measuring, so we have the Mocha Caves, and I'm over an hour, but this is how much over an hour? Oh, no, not. Yes, I am. The Mocha Caves. Set a goal. Set a numerical goal for. Set a collective numerical goal. For the statistic that concerns you most. Because it has stalactites and stalagmites. Okay. So we have San Marino, Piazza della Libertà con Palazzo Pubblico. What's going on at that place? I think it has performances. Set a performance goal for how you will join the fight in 2025. I think it's fine. This is the last one. Set a goal. Okay. Opera. Oh, I don't know what this place is. Hold on. I don't know what this place is. This might not be a place where you see performances. Let me put this down. It's just a city square. It was recommended. All right. Public, the heart of San Marino's political life. Here, the installation ceremony of the captain's region takes place every 6 months. Freedom Square, Central Site. Oh, freedom. Fight for freedom. Freedom against trafficking. That is too much. Fight for freedom. Yeah, trafficking is a form of slavery. Set a goal, not a performance goal. And then for this one, set a performance goal for how you will react in situations presented. All right, I think we're done. Yep. Alrighty. So until next reach out, keep it loud.